Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but I got inspired by a video that Books and Lala posted about series she'll never finish. So I thought I would share with you a series I have finished, which was my favorites of those ones, a series that I plan to finish, and series I'll never finish. And I don't really know about any more series. I'm sure that obviously I know about some, but these are the ones that I've finished and that I'm like currently interested in, stuff like that. So, or the ones that I was interested in. So we'll start off with the ones that I have finished. I just pulled a book from each of the novels that I have. They're not the first ones. They might not be my favorites, but these are just the books. So the first one is from the Burn for Burn series called Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. I did finish this series, and I would say it was pretty good, except for like the last little bit was kind of weird with the whole like ghosty thing. But overall, pretty good book, and it's a good, easy read. I finally finished the Caroline B. Cooney series called The Face in the Milk Carton. I had thought I finished it years and years ago. There's, I think, 4 books in the original series, and then about 2 years ago, I was like walking through chapters, and there was a 5th book appeared, and it was like about how like Jane was like growing up and gonna get married, and then her kidnapping mother comes back into her life, and all that stuff. So I bought it and I read it. So I officially finished the series, but it was really good, and I read this like years ago, like probably when I was in grade 7. And it is just a really good book. I really love Caroline B. Cooney. She was one of my favorite authors when I was a child, and like reading growing up. So I love crime novels. So that's probably what got me interested in it, was because of probably this series. So it is a really good read. I love it. The next one I have finished is the Shatter Me series. I do own all the books as well. That's what I think of it. I think I got it just on a whim to buy it. I've seen it all over like BookTube and Goodreads and stuff, and I picked it up, and the first book is not that great. My favorite is probably the second and the third one. I think it definitely evolves into something that's actually really good with a strong female character, and I really like that. But the first book is not the greatest, so don't have your hopes up for it because it's not great. But it is a good series overall, and it's an easy read. The next book in the series is Divergent, and I do own all the books as well. I loved this series when it first came out. I think I want to like reread it again almost, because I feel like the movies have ruined it a bit. And I really loved it when it first came out, and I really love the second one, which I think is Insurgent. And I do want to see Allegiant the movie, but I know that it changed a lot of the aspects of it, so I've been like holding off on it. Yeah, so I mean, the books are great, and I do like the movies originally, but now I'm like, no, I don't think I do. But yeah, I love this novel series. I also obviously want to say that I have finished the Harry Potter series. I do own all of them, plus Cursed Child, and obviously it holds a high place in my heart. But to be honest, it's probably not my favorite series anymore. We'll get to my favorite series last. It'll be my last one I've read, because just Harry Potter's on a whole like different other childhood level, but I have finished that series obviously, and I love it to bits. But I finished the Something Borrowed, Something Blue duology by Emily Giffin. I don't know what I can say about it. I do know we own the second book somewhere. I think it's in my sister's room or in the basement where some other books are. I mean, the movie for Something Borrowed was pretty spot on to it, and I did love it. It was really good. John Krasinski? Oh my god, I'm gonna get the name wrong. He is amazing in the role of Ethan. It's an okay book. I obviously connected more with this one. My sister connected more with Something Blue because she's more of a Darcy, and I'm more of a Rachel, is what I guess the thing is. But I really liked the books. Emily Giffin has written other ones, other books, not really series, but other books, and most of hers are pretty good. There's always like a romancy love story in it, and most of her novels are really good. But there are some not so great ones in there. But Something Bored thankfully was really good when I was a teenager. So one of my other favorite series is Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. I originally got it because I thought it was a standalone, and then Son of the Witch came out, and I read that, and it was really boring. And then A Lion Among Men came out, and I finished that. The only reason I finished it was because Out of Oz is the fourth book in it, about how someone who descendant of the Wicked Witch is back in Oz, and it seemed really cool, and that's the only reason I finished A Lion Among Men, because A Lion Among Men is about the lion, and it is so boring. Oh my god, it's so boring. Gregory Maguire is a great writer, and Wicked and Out of Oz are amazing, and I really would love to reread Wicked, because I remember loving it a lot. It's probably like 4 or 5 years ago that I've read it, but Son of a Witch and A Lion Among Men, and I've also read his other novel about Cinderella and the stepsisters. I don't know where it is anymore because I'm pretty sure I threw it away. Those were so tedious to read. I like to have conversation in my books, and a lot of his pages and his writing is a lot of description, and especially in the Cinderella one, I don't even know what the name of it is. So boring. I can't not finish books in a way. Like, I have to finish them even though I don't like them. I will eventually go back to them. It's a pet peeve of mine, and oh my god, I just didn't want to finish that Cinderella book, but I did, and it sucked. But The Wicked, and I own all the novels too for the Wicked series, and Wicked is really good, and Out of Oz is really good. So I feel like you kind of need to read at least A Son of a Witch to read Out of Oz. A Lion Among Men, I don't really remember anything that was in it that was in the last book. But again, it's also been a couple years since I read the last book as well. But it is a good series overall. The first and the last book are the best. So push yourself towards reading the other two, and you can probably make it to the fourth one. But yeah. And then lastly, for the series that I have finished that I love, this is my favorite one, and now I know that it's being made into a movie, and I'm so excited. And it is the Darkest Mind series by Alexandra Bracken. I originally got into the series by Hales Hearts NYC on YouTube. She recommended it, and this is an amazing book. I know it's intended for young adults, and it's targeted for 16-year-olds, but I just think it's so well written, and it's a really cool idea with the whole different powers and almost concentration camps for children. That's a really cool aspect of it. And then there's no love triangle. That was my biggest sale about this book. I own all the books. I probably read the series about 2 or 3 times, especially Darkest Minds. I always love to read this one, and the second one is great too. The third one is good, but it's not my favorite of the series. This one and the second one I think are really good. And I just think that all the characters are really well written. The girl, Amandla, she played Rue in Hunger Games. She is playing Ruby in the Darkest Minds series in the movie, which I wasn't picturing her as that, but I'm having an open mind because, first of all, I thought Ruby was more white, but, not besides the point. I just didn't picture that way, but I am keeping an open mind because I love this series so much. So I am excited to see the movie. I just want it to be great on the screen. Is this how people feel about Harry Potter and Hunger Games and all that stuff when they were so excited? Because I'm so excited for the movie to come out because it is awesome, and I recommend everyone to read it. But this is the one series that I will not lend out to anyone because it is my precious pride and joy. And I'm getting Alexandra Bracken's next novel for Christmas. I asked for it, Passenger. So I'm really excited to read that book. But this is my favorite series that I've read. So yay! We'll move on to the series that I want to finish or that I'm planning on finishing. The first one is The Red Queen. I have read this book by Victoria Aveyard. I do have Last Sword, and I have started it, but I just haven't finished it. I was on a high from the novel I'll show you next. That's why I bought Glass Sword, but it just didn't live up to what I was getting the high off of the next novel. But I do plan on finishing it, and hopefully I do finish the book before the end of the year, Glass Sword, or soon after. But I do really like it. Like for the most part, again, it kind of goes along with Shatter Me and the next series I'll show you about like kings and queens and all that stuff, and someone fitting in that's not supposed to fit in. So overall, it's pretty good. So I'm hoping that Glass Sword is like better in a sense from what I've been reading so far. The next one that I'm really excited about, because I just bought the last, I'm not even sure it's the last one, but I'm assuming it's the last one in the trilogy, in the series, is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Roche. I own Ice Like Fire, and Frost Like Night is the last one that I plan on reading, and it is really good. I am so excited to read it. I just haven't been in a reading mood lately. After I finished, whatchamacallit, Cursed Child, I just haven't been in the reading mood, but I do really want to finish this series before the end of the year. So I'm hoping to pick it up soon and just get in the reading mood, because Frost Like Night is the last one, and it's really cool. So it's some like kings and queens and magic, and the characters are really well done, and there is some like lovey-dovey stuff, but it's not like the main focus, which again I appreciate. And yeah, I really like the series. Again, this was recommended by Hales Hearts NYC. I just really like what she recommends, so I am very excited to read the last book. And then finally, these are books series that I don't plan on finishing. The first one is Wallbanger, which I originally got from Walmart at like 10 o'clock at night because I was just like feeling it. It's pretty much a romancy novel, and I thought it was a standalone. It's pretty hilarious, pretty much. She moves in next door to a guy who's like a womanizer, and they find out that their friends know each other and stuff, and then they start like seeing each other and all that stuff. And she calls him Wallbanger because he always bangs on the wall when he has sex with other girls. So it's really fun to read. But apparently this one is like now a series about the two of them. I don't really want to read it. It was a really good standalone novel, and I think that it should have been just left alone. I don't have any plans of reading the other ones. I think that it was just good on its own. It was a fun read, and you know what? I'm just going to go okay with the happy ending that they have. I don't want to complicate anything more. It's just a fun read that one night that I had. So the next two are by the same author, and the first one is the Pretty Little Liars series. I have read up to the 8th novel. I've read 1 through 8, and really it should have stopped there. I read these in high school, so my opinion, I love them. I loved them in high school, and I haven't watched the TV series since like season 2. So I know that it does differ with the 18 and all that stuff, and maybe it's different from the books, but it really should have stopped at, I think this is the 8th book, I think, anyways. I'm pretty sure it's the 8th book. I own the 8th book. But pretty much it just should have stopped at the 8th novel, when you don't know if Allison lives or dies, and you're kind of like confused, and that would have been cool, and you could be left wondering. The 9th book I haven't read, but I went on Wikipedia, and like Emily has a baby, and they may have killed someone in a hotel that's not like it's just really random stuff that it just should have ended at the 8th novel. So I have no plans on reading anything further than that. I might just read Wikipedia to find out what happens, but I mean the first couple books with who is A and Allison is Courtney and Courtney is Allison, I think was a really cool twist, and then it should have ended. I mean, I think the series is like 12 novels. That's insane. The next one by her is The Lion Game, series by Sarah Shepard as well. I have read up to the 5th novel of this one, and not the 6th one, or I've read up to, no, I have 5, and there's 6, I believe. And again, I really like this series. It's easy to read and it's fun, but again, I just got kind of to the point where I was like, I don't really want to read the last book to find out who killed the twin or whatever. Like, just tell me who did it. And I found out through Goodreads and stuff, so that was okay with me, to be honest, because it's wishy-washy, I guess. It's kind of like, it's a good read, but it's not anything that I'm going to be upset about if I found out who did what and all that stuff. So, yeah, that I'm not planning on finishing the last book. So that is my spew. I don't know what to say, but my thing about all my series and the ones I love. But I'm still like so excited about the Darkest Minds movie. I just can't explain how excited I am. I can't wait to see who will play Chubbs and Zoo, and oh my goodness, it is gonna be amazing. Or I like hope it is because I have such high hopes for it. So, if not, I always have my books, I guess, but I just love it so much. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all later. Bye!